In 2003, the most famous toy brand on Earth was on the verge of disappearing forever. Lego was losing $1 million every single day. The company that had defined childhood for generations was drowning in $800 million of debt. It wasn't just a financial failure, it was a cultural one. The world's favorite brick had become irrelevant. How did the Danish giant lose its way? For decades, Lego was a model of simplicity. But in the late 90s, the company panicked. They feared that the rise of video games and digital entertainment would make physical toys obsolete. In a desperate attempt to stay relevant, they tried to do everything at once. They launched Lego jewelry, video games, clothing lines, and multi-million-dollar theme parks. This expansion created what business analysts call a complexity trap. Instead of focusing on the brick, Lego was chasing trends. They started manufacturing thousands of unique, specialized parts that only fit in one specific set. For an employee on the factory floor, this was a nightmare. For the company, it was a logistical catastrophe. Every new piece required its own custom mold, often costing tens of thousands of dollars to produce. By 2003, Lego was selling more products than ever, but they were losing money on nearly everything they shipped. They were essentially dying from their own growth. The turning point came with the arrival of Jürgen Vig Knudstorp, a former consultant who became CEO in 2004. He didn't come in with a vision for a new, shiny product. Instead, he brought a chainsaw. His strategy was radical simplification. He sold off the theme parks and shuttered the experimental lifestyle brands. Most importantly, he looked at the parts inventory. At its peak, Lego designers were using over 12,000 unique elements. Knudstorp slashed that number in half. He forced designers to innovate within limits, using a core library of pieces that could be reused across dozens of different sets. This didn't just save money, it restored the fundamental magic of the toy, the idea that any piece can become anything. But cutting costs was only half the battle. Lego had to find its soul again. They stopped seeing the brick as just a toy for children and realized it was a creative platform for everyone. They began to embrace their adult fans. They also leaned into high-stakes partnerships. By licensing major franchises like Star Wars and Harry Potter, they turned the Lego set into a high-end collector's item. This wasn't just about play. It was about storytelling and nostalgia. It turned the brick into a multi-generational bridge. Parents who grew up with the brand were now buying expensive, complex sets for themselves as much as for their children. Today, Lego is not just surviving. It is the most profitable toy company in the world. Their recovery is a masterclass in business focus. They proved that when a brand loses its way, the answer usually isn't to innovate more or expand faster. Often, the path back to success is to strip away the noise and return to the one thing you do better than anyone else. For Lego, that meant rediscovering that a simple, interlocking plastic brick was always enough. While Lego saved itself by returning to its roots, another giant found success by making itself unavoidable. Next time, we look at how Amazon turned shipping, once its biggest expense, into its greatest weapon.